gotta stay caffeinated. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Nate Caywood, and today we're gonna talk about my first short film. So take a quick look first.
Yeah, people think it's pretty hilarious. My name's Troy Aikman when they find out I'm not the famous quarterback. We have a good laugh. Dallas Cowboys. Quarterback? Super Bowl? Well, enough about me. Let's find you a job, huh? That's why you came here. Okay.
Yeah. I got a lot of experience in various office environments, so I'm pretty flexible, I'm malleable, moldable.
Okay, whoa. What's...
I'm sorry?
The...
With my...
Your voice, you got some...
my accent?
Accent. Better write that down. From Dutch.
Dutch is a language. I'm from England.
Ooh, okay. Mark, I can't help you. We can't help foreigners.
I'm sorry, what did you say? You're speaking so quiet I can't hear you.
Foreigners.
Oh, foreigners. I don't know if you should say that out loud.
We can't help people who are from a country not of mine own.
The United States.
The United 50 States.
I don't think people call it that, do they?
Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri,
Sure.
Colorado.
I have a work visa, so we'll be fine.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so?
It says so at the top of my CV.
Excuse me?
My resume, it's underlined. It's got the arrow pointing to the highlighted section that says I have a working visa.
H&R Block, we're back. Why'd you leave these guys?
Downsizing because of the seasonal element.
Sure, I got it. All right, let's make some money. Okay, I'm thinking.
I think I'd do really well at another accounting firm.
How do you feel about using your body for science?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so technically that's only 1/4 of the film. There's 3 more vignettes that are just like that. And but I thought that would be way too long to show on this channel. The full video is on my channel, so you can take a look if you want to. So in this video, I'm gonna ask myself 4 questions. 4 questions that I frequently find myself as an audience member wanting to ask filmmakers that I aspire to be. If I could have a cup of coffee with Martin Scorsese or Janixa Bravo or the Coen brothers, this is what I'd ask them first. So this idea came from the fact that I wanted to direct a short film, and I had no money for a budget. So I needed to create a narrative that allowed for minimal changes in location, because locations are expensive. So my thought was like, okay, I need to find one location where multiple things could happen. People can relate to going to work, so great, let's do that. So I decided to set my film in an office, and then after doing some research in Los Angeles, realizing that any film production location is ridiculously expensive, so I wasn't going to be able to rent an office space to actually do the shoot, so I decided to shoot it in my apartment. And I've always been really inspired by Michel Gondry and Paul King films, and I thought if those guys can shoot scenes in rooms made of cardboard, so can I. My dad helped me design a set of flats that I could move in my apartment, made of cardboard and PVC pipe, and I got a desk and some office supplies, and boom, I had a built movable set in the living room of my apartment. So a couple projects actually influenced this film for me, beyond just the production design of Michel Gondry films or Paul King films. One of the biggest look and tonal driving forces of this film is a movie by a director named Roy Andersson, and that film is called A Pigeon Sat on a Branch Reflecting on Existence. And here is a quick clip from its trailer so you can see the tone.
Är det någon som vill ha det här? En räksmörgås och en stor starköl. Gratis!
Jag kan ta ölen.
Ja, varsågod.
Får gå till doktorn, hörru. Det här är inte normalt. Jag är faktiskt orolig för dig.
Jag med.
It's funny and weird. Also, I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. I think I had seen a trailer for Janixa Bravo's Lemon, and so I was really drawn to like slow, absurdist, quirky, character-driven comedies, and so that's where this came from. Because I wasn't pinned into a shoot date because of location that I was renting and that I was building the set inside of my apartment, we had a really flexible schedule, which gave me an opportunity to, in pre-production, rehearse with the actors multiple times, where we had different passes at the script where I was able to change things per their opinions and their notes and their joke pitches, and we were able to build this really uniform and cohesive sort of build. And that all came about the fact that the location was in my apartment and I didn't have a shoot date that I was required to show up with, so there was less pressure. I didn't have a load in time or a load out time for the location. We could be at my apartment for as long as we wanted, for as many days as we wanted. It was all in one place, so we didn't have to worry about getting out of one location to go to another. And I think this is a really important thing for first time or at least beginner filmmakers, is like, give yourself the permission to make your film simple and execute on all the things that are important. I think one of the things that is easy for first-time filmmakers to neglect is story and character and building to something, as opposed to just like worrying about cool shots or dope action or whatever. Just have a couple of people talking to one another. If you can create an interesting and exciting film with two people talking to each other in a room, then you're on your way to becoming a good filmmaker. The second really important thing that I learned from this process is it is imperative that you screen your films, especially comedy films, in front of an audience before you call it done. I didn't do that for this film. I cut the entire film myself in like sort of my basement, and once I got it to a place where I felt good about it, I just said, done. That's the film. I did send it to a couple of friends, the lead actors in the film, and a couple other people to hear what they said, but I sort of even posed it when I sent it to them, like, hey, take a look at my film. It's pretty much done. Let me know if there are any huge things that you think need to be changed. And that doesn't give you an opportunity to really put this edit and this story through the paces that it needs to for it to be the final version of the film. And I know that's true because the first night that I screened it at a friend's monthly film festival in their backyard, there were moments where I was watching the film through my fingers. I was like, oh God, that part's not good. I could have done better there. But the problem is, you never get your first screening back for the public, right? Because the people that were in that audience were all of my friends and peers in the comedy community in Los Angeles. Like, I didn't have the opportunity to take that back. The genie's out of the bottle. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do screenings for the purpose of finding those cringe-worthy moments. You should be doing that. And that's the biggest thing that I learned from this, is like, you should be doing multiple edits with multiple viewings of multiple groups of friends to make it feel like the premiere or like the idea that you're showing it to an audience for the first time. There will be moments where you're starting to get butterflies in your stomach, or there will be moments in the film where you feel a little bit queasy and you're like, oh God, that's not working, they're not laughing, or like, ooh, does that even make sense? You need to have those feelings before you release this film so that you can fix those things. What would I do differently? So the first thing that I would do is, since this is a comedy, I would edit it to be paced up faster, because comedy hits when it's a little bit faster. It's on each other and their jokes work better that way. You're building an energy to a thing, you're going towards a joke, etc. I cut it slow on purpose originally with the thought that I wanted it to be lumbering and sort of have that feel like anxiety-inducing comedy that filmmakers from Europe do so well. And the thing that I look back now and think is, I'm not them. And that I should have still cut this a little bit faster, because if I wanted to have those moments that like feel awkward, if you build to them quickly and then those moments stay long, you can feel that anxiety. But if everything is long and spacious all the way up to that moment where you want it to feel awkward, then you're not earning it. Everything's just awkward and slow and lumbering, and so I would cut it a lot faster. The other thing that I would do differently is, like, I think I would light it differently. The way that I lit it for this film, I mean, it shows that I was obviously very early on in understanding light. It's so flat, everything is just illuminated. There's no depth to the image, there's no depth on the characters' faces. Everything is just bright light, which I understand is like sort of how offices work. I think having it lit a little bit more dramatically and overtly theatrically, it would make the comedy hit a little bit harder. Something like an image like this from one of my favorite movies of all time, The Other Side of Hope by Ake Kaurismäki, you can almost see immediately that it's not quite natural, the world that we're in, and it's a little bit silly or like a little bit heightened and theatrical, and it's like, this is a movie that I'm presenting to you, which sort of gives us permission to laugh at these people. Third and final thing that I would have done differently is that I would have figured out how to inject some sort of movement into this film. It's really stagnant and it loses a lot of energy, mainly because I couldn't move the camera because there were just cardboard flats in my apartment. It's not like there was space for me to do a walk and talk, or like I couldn't like follow a character sitting down because there wasn't a cardboard wall behind them. So the camera essentially had to be still because of the location that I had built. Characters popping in and out of frame is funny, and I could have had the opportunity to use that to accelerate the pace and the energy of the film. Hey, wait, what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave. Hey, I'm back. I look back on this film and I see a lot of shortcomings, and I think every filmmaker probably looks back at their films and see a lot of shortcomings, and I think probably like every filmmaker, I would love to reshoot every frame of this movie and re-edit it and recolor it, but you can't. It's sort of one of your babies, and it's out in the world, and it's just got to live and it's got to do its thing, and all you can do is take what you've learned from that process and implement it onto your next film and your next film and your next film, and by virtue of doing that, you will become a better and better and better filmmaker, storyteller, artist. Yeah, that's all I got for you this week. If you've made a short film, take a look at your first one and see how you feel about it in the light of time. And if you haven't made a short film, go shoot one. And then send it over to me. I'd love to see what you guys are working on. Okay, that's all the time I've got for you this week. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I can't wait to talk to you next week. Cheers.